Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for anybody that's new here, my name is Chelsea and I love all things beauty, and today we're going to be talking about my #1 product in every single category. So if that sounds like something you want to see, just keep watching. Okay guys, so quick disclaimer, I do just quickly want to say that this is like the flavor of the week, okay? This is not like, how should I explain this? I did not take the approach of like if I could keep only one product for all of time. I took the approach more of like what makes me happiest in each of these categories right now. So this could literally change tomorrow. This is just like what I feel like my #1 product is right now as we speak. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know, in case you've heard me talk about other products and say like, oh, this is my favorite of all time or whatever. And of course those things are always like subject to change. You know, you try new things, you get more experience with other things. So yeah, this is just like my favorites right now, things I'm loving, my #1 product in every category. So let's go ahead and get started. I am also wearing everything on my face today because I wanted to show you guys what all of it actually looks like. So yeah, let's get started. I have like a whole goodie bag full of all of the products. So I'm just gonna go in the order that I would actually do things. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is primer. And I actually have two different primers because I feel like they kind of serve two different purposes. So they're kind of like separate categories in a way. So don't hate me. Anyways, so the first one is the Clarins Instant Smooth Primer. It's sort of like a putty primer. It's very similar to like the Tarte like Timeless Smoothing Primer. It's very similar to that, but it's a little bit creamier and smoother. Like I find the Tarte one is a little bit harder to spread out, which I don't like, but this just, it does such a nice job of like smoothing your skin. It seriously makes you look like you have a filter on. If you're somebody who has like a lot of pores in like your T-zone or just like areas that you really want to smooth, this is your man. You need this. This I actually bought in like a BoxyCharm sale. I think it was, what is it called? Like their Boxy pop-up, which I absolutely love, by the way. Love BoxyCharm, but I bought this in one of those just like on a whim, had never heard anything about it. In fact, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but this is so freaking good if you were looking for a smoothing primer. Next thing I want to talk about is by Laura Mercier, and this is an illuminating primer, so it's like a totally different purpose, and that's why I'm kind of counting it as like two categories because they really are so different. And I absolutely love using this with more matte foundations that I just want to give a little bit more moisture and a little more glow to. It's this beautiful, just sort of slightly shimmery primer, and it's very moisturizing. It really adds something to a very matte foundation. I really love this. This did come in a BoxyCharm that was gifted to me by BoxyCharm, just FYI. But I absolutely love this. It's amazing. I really love this. And if that's something you're looking for, you want that like lit from within glow, go with this. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is like one of the most underrated products I have ever seen. I think I don't even know if I heard anyone talk about this, but I looked it up on YouTube because I was curious about it, but I've never it never has like popped up in a feed and I've been like inspired to buy it. I think I found it because I was looking for olive tone foundations. Anyways, this is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Oil Free Photo Edition Foundation. This is so underrated, so beautiful, and the shade 3W1 beige or Sand Beige is so great if you have an olive skin tone. That is what I'm wearing today. As I said, I'm wearing all of this. Oh, I'm not wearing the Laura Mercier primer. I'm just wearing the Clarins one, just FYI. But this is so underrated. This is a very nice natural matte foundation. Looks like skin, full coverage. I mean, I never would have been drawn to this, especially because the packaging is like meh, like it's nothing special. I do wish that they would like repackage this into like a nice glass bottle. I would like it 10 times more if they did. But this is like my #1, you guys. I love this so much, probably because the color match for me is just so phenomenal. It's so hard to find foundations that are actually olive toned. If I don't look olive on the screen, guys, it's because I'm not good with camera settings. Just trust me, I do have a slight green tone to my skin, and this foundation is definitely slightly olive. But yeah, so I think that's the reason I absolutely love it, is because it's such a good shade match for me. And It lasts well, it's smoothing, it looks natural, full coverage. I mean, if that sounds good to you guys, I love this stuff. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Okay, and then my number one powder, which has been like my number one powder, setting powder for literally years. I have not found anything that beats this yet. And it is the Bye Bye Pores by It Cosmetics, and it is the pressed version. Mine is almost gone. I've gone through so many of these. This instantly blurs your skin, sets your makeup perfectly, and it's just amazing. I love it so much. I mean, what more can I say about it? It's lightweight, doesn't add to your texture, it's just so smoothing. Absolutely love this stuff. So next, let's talk about bronzer. So quickly, I just want to say that I do have a couple of bronzers in my collection that I do enjoy a little bit more than this one. However, they're all discontinued. I have like 4 bronzers that are no longer available, and it makes me so sad because they're all so good. And like, I don't want to buy more because like they're good and I want to use them, but I also feel like I need to like get more so that I can recommend them to you guys. It's like so sad to me that I have like 4 of these bronzers in my drawer that you guys can't get. This is still an absolutely amazing bronzer, but I just figured I'd throw that out there. I've recommended this 100 times before, but it is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's affordable, it's buildable, it's a nice sheeny sort of like satin bronzer, so it looks very skin-like. It's also not overly pigmented, so you can really build it up and it's not gonna leave you like splotchy. I've loved this for years. I think it's great. It'll probably always be in my collection, to be honest, because it is affordable and I really enjoy it. It also smells so good. Like if you know, you know. It smells like the beach. It is so good. So that's my number one, sort of right now. It's my number one that I can recommend to you guys. So, okay, so that is my number one powder bronzer, but I did split this into 2 categories also, and my number one cream bronzer right now is actually by Tarte, and I don't really know if I've talked about this. It's kind of one of those like hidden gems that I just kind of like forget to talk about. But this is their, sorry, it's really tiny writing, and this is the mini. This is their Breezy Cream Bronzer. So this is the mini, and I love this stuff, you guys. This is so creamy, so spreadable. It goes on so smooth. Like, I usually just dip my sponge in there and apply it. I did not wear this today. I am wearing the butter bronzer. But this is so good, and I definitely see myself picking up the full size one once I get through this little mini, because I really enjoy this. I think the tone of it is perfect. It's so cute, and look at the packaging. I love this like teal color. The full size one looks like this, just bigger. But yeah, I really enjoy this. Tarte nailed it with this formula, and I will definitely be picking up the full size when I run out of this. Okay, so now let's talk about blush, which is one of like my favorite categories ever. I just feel like blush really brings you to life, and it's just such a fun step. I just feel like I don't know, it's just something I really enjoy using, and I just don't feel complete when I don't have it on. And I also split this into 2 categories. I have a powder blush and a cream blush. So let's start with the powder, and I'm actually gonna recommend an oldie but a goodie again. And when I really sat there and looked at my blushes, this was the one that I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the number one. That's the one I use the most, and I love it. And it is Milani's Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is an OG product, but guys, I use this all the time, and I just love it. It's so beautiful. It gives you this beautiful peachy color, this beautiful sheen. I do have this over top of the cream blush that I'm going to recommend here in a second. But I mean, this color, the formulation, it's affordable. This is my number one. I love this stuff. It's great. Okay, and my number one cream blush is, can you guess? Probably if you've been following me for a while here or on Instagram. Maybe not so much here because I haven't been on here that long. But I've talked about this many times on my Instagram, and it is the Wander Beauty Cream Blushes, okay? So this is the packaging. You get the cream blush on top, and then you get a little like balm on the bottom. And they just expanded their shade range, you guys. They now have 2 new shades, so 4 shades in total. And one of the new shades is Honeymoon. That is what I'm wearing today. Whew, it's this one. It's so good. It's like that perfect neutral sort of like sunburnt color. And it's gonna go with almost every look you can come up with, you guys. This is so beautiful. This is definitely my favorite shade, I would say, at the moment. I mean, it could change tomorrow. But this formula also in particular, I'm really fond of. These were gifted to me by Wander Beauty. However, I would totally purchase this on my own, like without a doubt. Yeah, you can also use these on your lips, which I absolutely love. It's like a quick one and done, throw it on your lips, throw it on your cheeks, and you're out the door. But I also, the reason I love these so much is because they go on over powder. I just dip this, I dip my sponge into this and pat it onto my cheeks, and it goes over my powder with no issues, which not all creams do that. Some of them will pick it up and it just doesn't mix well, but I have had no issues with these. They're also very like sheeny and dewy, so when I wear these, I really don't feel like I need to put on a highlight, which is really nice. They just give you that really glowy, beautiful look, but it's like in the right spot too, you know, because I don't love like a super dewy foundation because I don't want to look greasy all over. I just want to look greasy or glowy on my cheeks. So I absolutely love these. They're phenomenal. Okay, and then for highlight, I actually only have one product. I'm gonna be like really real with you guys. Highlight is not like my favorite category. I don't hoard highlighters. They're not something that I get like excited to buy usually. So I really don't have, no, that's a lie. Okay, I have a lot of highlighters, but most of them have like been sent to me or like they come in boxes. I really have only bought a couple of highlights that are powders on my own. So I don't have, believe it or not, I'm a beauty guru, and I don't have a powder highlight favorite. But I do, however, have a cream or liquid highlight favorite that, phenomenal, and I really have not given this enough hype here or on my Instagram or my TikTok or anywhere. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have mine in the shade 3. I do have this on top of my cheekbones, and I love this because it's so subtle and beautiful. It looks so natural. It just looks like you are a glowing goddess from within. It is just so beautiful. And you know, it looks, at least from what I can tell, with my lights, it looks like it's pretty intense, but you gotta remember I also have a cream blush, a very dewy cream blush on. I've got the Milani Baked Luminoso, which also has some sheen to it, and then I also have this on top of it. So you gotta remember I have all of those things going on, and I'm also in front of bright lights, so that really kind of helps the shine come through. It doesn't look this intense in person, which is what I like. I like a subtle, natural looking highlight. Let me just go ahead and swatch this for you guys. This is just my favorite of all time. I actually want to get this in a different shade. I want to get it in the shade 4 also, but I think I'm going to get it in the mini. So as you can see, it's just this beautiful sheen, and basically how I apply this is I will apply it to the back of my hand like this. I will then take my sponge and just apply it to the tops of my cheekbones, maybe on my cupid's bow, my nose. That's what I did today, and it is just so beautiful. It is worth every penny. Honestly though, I would probably only get the minis because like there's no way I'm going to get through this before it's expired. So when I do go to repurchase this, I probably will just get the minis, but this is my #1 highlight. I absolutely love it, and I don't see myself being without it. It is great. Now let's talk concealer. So this is like such a controversial category. The concealer I'm gonna talk about is very controversial. Yeah, it's just like you read the reviews on this and they are so polarizing, so just keep that in mind that it's my favorite, but it might not be yours. I feel like I read the reviews on this and some people just absolutely hate this, but for me, this is my #1. I've talked about it before, and it is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. So the reason that I like this so much is because it is a very creamy and very emollient concealer. I'm 30 years old, I have wrinkles, my under eyes are very dry. I can't use pretty much, I mean, most matte concealers I have a really hard time using, because what happens to me, so look at my eyes, and I squint a lot. This movement of squinting creates little cracks right there, and what this does that no other concealer does other than one other one that I can think of, is it kind of smooths over those lines, and it's so emollient and like, I don't want to say sticky, but kind of sticky, that it moves with my creasing, it moves with my eye movements, so it doesn't end up cracking. And that's what I like about this. And it keeps my under eyes extremely hydrated, which I personally really need. So if that's an issue that you tend to have, like where, you know, just like after like an hour or a couple hours, your concealer creates almost those like vertical lines from creasing, Try this out. You might really love it. I think it also comes in a mini, so you can just try it out. I believe the mini is only like 10 bucks. I really love this. I'm just always so hesitant to recommend it because, like I said, I've read so many reviews that are like, this is the worst concealer I've ever tried in my life. So yeah, but for me, it is literally my number one. I absolutely love it. This is what I reach for every day when I'm not trying to try new things or use up things out of my collection. This is it for me. I really love this. The other thing I will say is don't use too much. I think that maybe some people's issue with it is that they're using too much, because if you use too much of this, it's gonna be a goopy mess. So anyways, this is my number one. Okay, let's talk about eyeshadow, okay? So I'm actually gonna talk about primer first really quickly. I have tried quite a few primers, and I have to say my absolute favorite one is the NARS eyeshadow primer. This really does such a nice job of just creating a very smooth base for your eyeshadow. This is in the shade medium. I would like to pick up a lighter shade. This works for me now when I'm sort of tanned or have a self tan on, but when I'm pale, this is a little bit too dark for me. But this just does a really nice job of creating a great base for your eyeshadow. I really recommend this. This is much better to me than the Urban Decay primer potion that everybody seems to be obsessed with, or at least they used to be. That one is just a little bit too cakey and too thick and too dry for me. This one is much smoother, not as dry, not as thick. So really recommend this. Oh, sorry if my voice goes out, guys. Okay, so my number one eyeshadow palette, this was really kind of a hard decision. I went back and forth between this one and the brand new Patrick Ta palette, and I decided to go with this one simply because this has been in my collection longer, and I didn't want to pick the Patrick Ta because it's like new and fresh and exciting, and I felt like maybe that was why I was being drawn towards it. So just so you know, I really love that one too. I'll link it below if you're interested. I also have a review video of it if you want to check it out, where I have a tutorial. I'll link that below as well. But instead of that one, I went with my Natasha Denona Gold palette. So this is just so beautiful. This is what is on my eyes today. I just cannot get enough of this palette. It is so stunning. The colors in it just draw me in every time. The formula is phenomenal. It blends like a dream. And it is expensive, guys, but these pans are huge. If you are someone who doesn't have a large collection and you're not like a giant collector of makeup, get this, and it's going to last you for forever, because these pans are gigantic compared to most palettes. Like, they really are huge. And it's gonna last you for forever. It's full of everyday shadows that you're gonna use all the time. I mean, seriously, this is so worth the investment. If I had to keep one palette for all of time, I know that I said that that wasn't my approach to this, but like truly, I think if I had to keep only one for all of time, this would probably be it. You've got the beautiful blues to play with. I am wearing this shade here on my lid. It's kind of like a beautiful greeny gold. It's just so beautiful, and the formula is just, you can't beat it. It's so good. So this is my number one right now. Could change tomorrow, but right now this is my favorite. I kind of wanted to give single pot shadows their own category because they really are so different from like an eyeshadow palette. So my number one in that category right now is by Supergoop, and nobody talks about these. I don't know what the deal is, but this is their, what are these called? This is their Shimmer Shade SPF, I don't know what this is called. It's just their like cream pot shadow, but I love the fact that this has SPF 30 in it, so you're protecting your eyelids. And I always wear this when I'm gonna go to the beach or anything like that. I take this on all of my tropical vacations. So specifically the shade Sunset is my absolute favorite. This all over the lid and like a bronzer in the crease is just such a beautiful look. And I'm telling you guys, this does not look special in the pan, but once you get this on your eyes, especially if you have blue eyes, there's something about this that really makes my eyes just pop. There's something in the tone of it that really complements blue eyes. And I think that's the reason I'm just so drawn to it and I love it so much, is because every time I use it, I'm just like, oh wow, good makeup day, you know? And it's like so simple too. So I love this. I did read reviews that say that they had issues with creasing with it, but I don't have that issue. I will say that when I do put on my eyeshadow, I usually do have either like my foundation, my concealer, or a primer down on my lids, and then that is set with powder before I go in with this. So if you do have that issue, give that a try and see if it helps, but that is my number one Pot Shadow. Okay, now let's talk about shadow sticks. I gave those their own category too because there's so many in that category that I like, and it really is different than the other two eye products. So my favorite right now is the Longwear Cream Shadow Stick from Bobbi Brown in the shade Golden Bronze. Oh, this is such a beautiful shade, you guys. This is what it looks like. I will give you guys a little swatch of it. I do have a 5-minute makeup look with this. I will go ahead and link that down below as well. If you want to see this in action, see what it looks like all over the lid. But this shade is just so beautiful, buffed out all over the lid and into the crease, maybe with just a little liner and some bronzer. Oh, it's just phenomenal. The formula is so good. It goes on super creamy, super smooth. It doesn't like enhance your texture at all. This is just such a beautiful shade and such a beautiful formula. I love this so much. Thank you, Bobbi Brown, for gifting this to me, because I don't know that I would have bought it had it not been gifted to me. But I can tell you what, as soon as this is gone, it's getting repurchased because I use this all the time. Now let's talk some eyeliner. So I did break this into 2 categories also. Sorry, I'm hanging out here. So I did break this into 2 categories also. I have a liquid liner and then just like your standard normal like pencil liner. So my #1 liquid liner, which I am wearing as my wing today, is from Physicians Formula. I've talked about this many times. It's affordable, it's effective, and the brush tip is amazing. It's super precise, very easy to use. I do have this in the shade Ultra Black, just so you know. I have heard that the normal black shade is kind of gray, so yeah, so just know that I am using the shade Ultra Black, and that's the one that I would recommend. So this is great, affordable, effective. What more can you ask for? If you hear my cat in the background, I'm sorry. Okay, and then my #1 right now for just like normal pencil liners is from Patrick Ta. It's his new pencils, and I have mine in the shade Rich Brown. It's just this beautiful brown shade. It goes on super creamy, and I have this in my upper waterline, you guys, and this has been on for like a couple hours now, I believe, and it's still intact as far as I can tell. And I love that it's super creamy, so it does not tug on your eyes. It doesn't irritate them. Once it sets down, it stays in place. It's just, it's great. It's a great replacement for my Milk makeup liners, which I really love, and I have heard that those are being discontinued and I can't find them anywhere. So this is just as good. It's actually very similar to those. If you've ever tried them and you're looking for something to replace them with, highly recommend checking this out. It's great. Okay, so my #1 mascara right now is the Lawless The One and Done Mascara. That is what I'm wearing today. It is beautiful. It is black. It curls. It stays on. It's like totally smudge proof, and it gives me so much volume, so much length. This is what the wand looks like. I mean, it looks like I'm wearing false lashes when I'm wearing this. I swear. It's so freaking good. I can't get enough of this. This was gifted to me. However, this is definitely a repurchase for me. I've been really set on the superhero mascara for a long time, but let me tell you guys, I mean, this one might be my #1 because it's the newer one. Like, you know how that goes. But I'm telling you, this gives it a run for its money. I mean, between those two, it's really hard for me to pick, but right now, this is the one I'm loving out of those two. This just, it makes my lashes look phenomenal. It's a clean formula if that's something that you're into or is important to you. I will say that you do want to be careful with it because you can go a little bit overboard, and then it's like you reach the point of no return. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Some mascaras, it's like you hit that perfect sweet spot, but don't you dare go any further because then you're gonna look like a clumpy mess. This can do that to you, so just like be aware of that. But I'm telling you guys, this is so good. It holds a curl. It curls my lashes. I don't even have to use a lash curler when I use this. It's super black, it's smudge proof, it lengthens, it volumizes, it really does it all. I totally agree with the name. It's the One and Done Mascara. Totally true. So my #1 brow pencil at the moment is by Winky Lux. I have talked about this several times. This is their Unibrow. It's a universal brow pencil. And I love the shape of it. It allows you to really fill in your brows extremely quickly, and that's the reason I really love it. And yeah, I can definitely see myself repurchasing this. I really enjoy this. And then as far as a brow gel, a tinted brow gel, my #1 right now is the Milk Makeup Kush brow gel, and this is in the shade Grind. It's just a very simple brow gel with a really small applicator that gets right in there, allows you to brush through your brows and get a little color in there. I love this on days where I'm just trying to run out the door real quick. I'll just run this through my brows and be good to go. Do nothing else. It takes me like 2 seconds. Okay, and then the next thing I want to talk about is if you are somebody who wants a clear brow gel. So this is actually fairly new to me, but I can tell you what, I will never ever be purchasing another clear brow gel again because this is so affordable. This is the Got to Be Glued Styling Spiking Glue, water resistant. And basically this is a hair gel, but it's been floating around the internet for quite a while now, maybe even like a year. And I finally picked it up this month and I've used it several times and it works so good. So this is like the little mini version, guys, and this still has so much product in it, and it was $3. Like, are you kidding me? When a small tube of like brow gel is like $25-$30 if you go to Sephora. I'm never going to be without this. This is so affordable, so effective. Basically what I do is I just take this on a little spoolie and I run it through my brows. You could even, I'm sure on Amazon there's like empty packaging that you could buy and just stick this in there. So yeah, this is great. It's affordable, so effective, and honestly it works better than any brow gel I've ever tried. So if you want a clear brow gel, now let's talk about lips. First, I did split this into 3 different categories, or no, 4 I guess. So I've got my favorite red lip, my favorite nude lip, sorry if you can hear my dog whining, my favorite gloss, and then my favorite lip liner. So let's start with my nude lip because that's what I'm wearing today. So my favorite nude right now is from Lawless Beauty. This is in the shade Platinum. This is a beautiful, beautiful, very pale. This is very pale, just so you know. This is the most pale lipstick I've ever found. Anyways, what was the thing? It's a beautiful pale lipstick and I just love this. I do have this paired with a lip liner and my favorite gloss. Okay. I cannot wear this by itself. You do need to pair it with a lip liner or maybe in the center of a different lip. But guys, this is so nice. The color of it is just so flattering. I really, really, really love this. So I have that on, and this is a cream formula. It's not matte. So I have that on with Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude. This is my #1 lip liner by far. I use this almost every single time I put a lip on, unless it's like red or super pink or something like that. But if I'm putting any sort of a nude on, this is what I'm using. It's just the perfect, it is just the perfect nude shade, and it goes with everything. The formula is great. I mean, seriously, this is, I've talked about this a lot and it will always be in my collection. It is the perfect cool toned. It's really not super cool, but it leans cool. It's very neutral, goes with everything, great formula. It's the best. It is the best. Buy it, you need it, it's great. Okay, and then let me just talk about my favorite gloss real quick because I do have my favorite color topped over this lip. So my favorite glosses are the Buxom, what are these called? These are their full-on lip plumping, or I'm sorry, plumping lip creams, okay? So this is what these look like. If you've been following me on Instagram for a long time, you've probably heard me rave about these. These are the best gloss. I love these. I'm wearing the shade White Russian. That probably is my favorite shade. And these are so good. They're very creamy and sort of thicker, and like, let me show you. They're creamy, they're thick, they give you some nice color payoff, and they're also minty, so they give you like that really slight tingle, which I really like. These are just so good. They've been around for a long time. They've been a favorite of mine for forever. I can't get enough of these, you guys. They also last really, really well for a gloss on the lips. Highly recommend. My favorite shade, like I said, is White Russian. That's what I have topped over this. But the other 2 I have. So this is White Russian. This is Hot Toddy. And then this is the shade Dolly. Okay, and then my absolute favorite red lip, which is actually fairly new to my collection, but oh my god, it beats everything. This is a matte red lip from Armani Beauty. It is spendy, but holy shiitake mushrooms, okay? It is so good. And this is in the shade 400. If you are somebody who does not like matte lipsticks because they are drying, try this. I know it's expensive. Buy it at Sephora. If you hate it, you can return it, okay? But I am telling you, this is the creamiest, softest, most hydrating, comfortable matte lip I have ever put on in my life. I actually plan on picking up more shades of this, but as far as reds go, this is the ultimate red, okay? It is absolutely gorgeous. It's the perfect red shade, and like I said, you guys, I have never in my life tried a lipstick formula that is this comfortable and this like luxurious. The second that I put this on, I was like, holy shit. This is so nice. I totally understand why people pay this much for high-end lipsticks now. And before I was not like that. I was like, oh, whatever, like it can't be that much better, which in some instances it's probably not, but I'm telling you guys, this is worth every penny to me. This is so nice. Feels so good on the lips, and the color is so pretty, okay? It's so pretty. And then the last thing I want to talk about is not necessarily makeup, but it's perfume, and I figured I'd share it anyway. My number one right now is still the Versace? I don't know. Is it Versace? Versace? How do you say it? So this is their Dark Crystal. I think that's what it's called, right? I think this is the dark, it doesn't say. It just says crystal. It just says Crystal Noir, but I think it's Dark Crystal. Anyways, I'll link it down below. This, ooh, if you want to smell like a bad bitch, this is what you buy, okay? Mysterious, like sophisticated, sexy, like I've talked about it many times before, but this is beautiful. It smells so good. My husband loves how it smells, and the packaging is phenomenal. Like, I will definitely always have this. Okay. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for all of my number one products in every category. I hope that this was fun. I hope it was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. I'm doing my best to grow on here, and I would really appreciate it if you guys did subscribe. Everything that I did mention is down below. If you do want to use my links, I really do appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. I don't make a large commission, but what I do make is very helpful. So to all of you guys that do use my links, just thank you. It's so helpful. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for now. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.